Hey guys, it's me, Kelly. No, you did not read that title incorrectly. I'm insane. I don't know how Brittany and Michelle are still friends with me. The other day, this is how this all started. So the other day, Brittany woke up and me and Michelle had already been chatting for only really like an hour, to be quite honest. And she had 107 messages from the two of us. So if anybody was ever jealous of not being in on our little trio of conversation, it's fantastic, but at the same time, I felt so bad whenever Brittany was sent a picture and she was like, guys, I was only away for an hour and a half. So basically, I'm constantly looking at my my calendars and all of that stuff constantly, and also I'm like, oh my god, thinking about stuff that's coming up and whatnot. And July is coming up, which is the Picture This Plus sale. Oh my holy God, guys. All right, so this is basically me talking about next year's plans, as well as Brittany wanted an updated whip video, which I was like, I did one in November. Go watch that one. But you know what? We're all families. We're all friends and family here. So, yeah, I'm going to comply, and we're going to do another video. But I do just want to say, if you notice anything different, I have new pillow covers for my throw pillows for my couch. My amazing friend Susie made them. Oh, and I also have an update with the sale. I know that some of y'all are really interested in that. They are still going through it and making sure that anything that is associated with a pattern or a piece of fabric or the threads, they're like making sure that's all put together and coming up with prices still. But she did tell me in June, that stuff will be in my possession. And so I've already talked to her. This is what we're going to do for it. I'm going to do a video about it, and I will let y'all know whenever that's going to be. But I will have a specific video where I show you everything that we are selling from this, and all the money, like I said, is going to my Quilt Guild, which is a nonprofit, and we do so much charity work, and I will talk more about that in this video. But I just wanted to give y'all a heads up. It's coming in June. We're going to do a video where I show everything that we have, show what all comes with everything, and the price that it's going to be. And in the description will be a link to my eBay. And while this stuff is on my eBay, it will be the only thing that is on my eBay. We are going to post it there for the prices that they come up with and that I say in the video. And there will be a link, and you can go to my eBay and you can buy any of it then. And after, all the shipping and everything, and eBay takes out its chunk for selling on eBay, which is a small amount, but they require a chunk. Once that's taken out, then all of that money, I will write a single check to my Quilt Guild, and I will, do a video or something showing that all that money went straight to the Quilt Guild, but that's going to go to them to go towards charity and scholarship money. Anyways, that's what we're going to do. That's how they want me to run it. I said we could do it through Instagram, through Facebook, through this or that. And they feel more comfortable going through eBay. And I kind of do too, as far as, going through eBay. I can print out the postage straight through there. Don't have to worry about figuring out postage through eBay, which can be a hassle. And it all goes straight into PayPal, which I can then send to them through that. So that's how they want to do it. That's how we're going to do it. So get excited for that. That's coming in June. Anyways, so I was talking to Michelle and Brittany about my wish list for Picture This Plus sale in July, and I had made this long list of what I wanted. And so basically, the patterns that I'm wanting to start next year, so things that I want to be a new start next year, I was picking out my fabrics. But then, so I had this long list of Picture This Plus fabrics, and I think I mentioned it in a video where, like, it was like $200 worth of fabric, but I was, you know, it was going to be like $150, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I have so much fabrics by LJ. I dye my own fabric. So, like, I have, like, a huge fabrics by LJ stash. So, I was talking to Michelle, and I was like, I'm going to take a picture of all my fabrics by LJ and show you, like, the stitch count and stuff like that. And, you know, some of these things I still want to put on Picture This Plus fabric, and some of it I'm going to use almost all of my fabrics by LJ stash because I just keep on buying it and then I don't use it for anything. So without further ado, we're going to talk about my future plans for next year, and we'll get that part out of the way first. But we're going to talk about future plans for next year, and then I'm also going to do a whip update for Brittany because she asked for one. So I like to comply. And since I'm like getting out stuff and like talking about kitting new things up anyways to prepare for next year, might as well do it all now. So I brought a bunch of my stuff in here from the other room. So the first one on my list for 2018 is going to be One Nation by Bygone Stitches. I bought this whenever I went to ABC Stitch Therapy back in February whenever I went to the Houston meetup. And I have loved this pattern for a while. It's gorgeous. It's the U.S. flag, but it's all of the states. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they're in the order of they're coming to colonization or being brought into the Union. So there's us, Tejas. So this is one that I'm going to do on Picture This Plus fabric, and I chose one of their new fabrics. It's called Oaken. So this is going to be done on 18 count Oaken. So that'll be really exciting. I think it'll look really nice. I haven't picked out the threads yet, but I don't know if I want to use specialty threads or not. But if I do, definitely I'll find out. But I definitely have plenty of time to figure that out. I'll wait until I get the fabric to do that. The next one is New World Part 1 through 5 by Barbara Ann Designs. And I actually did buy all 5 of the patterns from Creative Poppy online because I really wanted a PDF version of it because I am famous for screwing up at least one of the pages or Gizmo jumps up on my table and spills like a drink or something on it and ruins it. So I personally love having PDFs or making working copies of printed out patterns because I do. So I bought them directly from Creative Poppy and they were $5.99 a piece. And if it was your first time ever ordering from there, because I created my account that day, if it was your first time ever ordering from there, you got $4 off. So basically I bought 4 patterns and the 5th one was $1.99. So good deal for me, I think. So this is the first part. It's witches and bats, and this one is called The Night of All Fears. Then part 2 is called Plentiful Meadows, and this one's really, really, really cute. It has like cows and a barn and goat and ducks and a horse-drawn carriage, chickens. The next one is about Into the Woods, and I don't have all of these printed out, so I'm really sorry because some of them I haven't even bought yet. But for those, I'll insert a picture. Just wanted to, before I forget. Part 3 is Deep in the Woods, and this is really cute. It has like fox and bears and toadstools and little birds and trees. Part 4 is called A Trip to Town, I think. A Visit to Town. Close enough. And this one is really cute. It's just a little village, and it has 2 little people in it. So adorable. And then the final part is honestly one of my favorites. It is Over the Seas, and it is so cute. It has little fishermen and little mer people and underwater life. And fun fact about me, I did marine biology in high school, and I actually got accepted to A&M Galveston, but then I decided to go where I went. So I'm going to do that kind of on a fun fabric because it's very whimsical colors and things like that. And in the pattern, they have them on 5 different fabrics, and then you like frame them like that. I don't really like that. I want it all on one fabric. So I'm going to use Fabric by LJ 18 count Ada in Mermaid's Playground, and he hasn't made this one in a while, but this is it right here. So I just thought, Michelle helped me pick this one out. I just thought this would be so much fun because it's already a very whimsical pattern, and the way they have it originally stitched is kind of whimsical in all the different colors. So I thought this would be like really fun, and this would probably be the bottom so that way the ocean has a little bit more green. And then this would be like a really kind of like cool top part for the witches and stuff, but obviously I'm going to start in the middle with the Into the Woods part 3. But anyways, I'm really excited about this. So this is going to be for the Barbara Ann New World patterns. So I think it'll add a little bit of funky. Another really cool thing about these patterns is all of the colors. The color list for part 1 is the same color list for the other 4. So there's no additions or subtractions to colors. They all contain the same exact colors. So if any of like the blues or the purples don't go well on this fabric, I can change them out to something else, and it will be consistent throughout the entire piece. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm trying to think of how to place those. So that's a start for next year. The next one, and I don't have these printed out yet, but I do have some of them bought, I just don't have them printed, is the Satsuma Street Zodiacs. Now I'm waiting until next year to do these because she's coming out with them each month this year, and I sent her a message and asked, are you going to come up with a border or something, or a way of laying them out with like a border of tying them all together? And she said, I'm planning on it, but it would be, she said it's either going to be released separately or with the last pattern or something like that. And so I said, oh, okay, you know, so I was just asking, but so. And first of all, I'm waiting anyways because I know there's going to be 12, but to start in the middle, I don't know. I don't know how I want to lay them out yet. So, but this should be plenty of fabric for it. This is 18 count fabrics by LJ Lavender Skies. I just recently got this, which you'll see if I haven't already uploaded that video, it's coming soon, I promise. So this is Lavender Skies. I don't know why it's called Lavender Skies. There's more blue in this than purple, but it is very gorgeous. And Michelle and I thought this would be beautiful for a Zodiac pattern. And I have done the Clouds Factory Zodiac before anyone asked that in the comments. I have done it. I finished it the year that it came out, and I did it on the recommended fabric by Pictureless Plus, which was Gothic. It looks awesome. I want to do a different Zodiac one because this one's just going to look so different. And it's just a different like take on it. So this is going to be for Satsuma Street's Zodiac. All right. The next one is going to be the Sweet as Pie Club from Frosted Pumpkin. And I have my first part printed out. And no, I do not have fabric for it. Oh, God. These are papers. These are papers for my board meeting for my quote guild. Those can go back in the planner. So I'm not going to start on this till next year where I'll have most of the parts, most of the pieces. I am going to do this on the recommended fabric, which is Pictures Plus Sand. I want to do it on 16 count, which they recommend doing it on 14, but I want to do it on 16 count. I'm also not going to do it on crystal linen, or crystal linen. I'm not going to do it on the crystal fabric. So that's another start for next year. The next one I have is When Life Gives You Lemons by Stitch Rovia, and that is going to be on Starburst from Fabrics by LJ, and this is a 16 count. This was Michelle's pick, totally. Because I had a really cool like pink fabric from Pictures Plus picked out, but she thinks that the colors will really pop on this. This is called Starburst. It has some yellowing in it, which I don't know if you can see. There's some yellowing in it, but it's like bits of like pink and stuff. So I think that'll look really great on there. And again, this is 16 count. I had that stuff printed out. That's really bothering me because I don't know where it is. So I've got to find what I did with all those printouts. They aren't in here. I don't know. All right. The next two, I don't have the patterns and I don't have the fabric, obviously. But I am going to do it on Pictures Plus 16 count Mirage. I'm going to do both of them on that because it is 2 out of the 6 Beatles tribute patterns from Blackbird Designs. I'm going to start Yellow Submarine and Octopus Garden. I'll put a picture of those here. Okay. I am a huge Beatles fan, and out of the 6 pattern, one, Yellow Submarine, has to be the first one that I start because I was in marching band in high school, and our joke in our band was anytime we went like on a road trip, we would always like get on the bus and we would all start singing We All Live on a Yellow Submarine because we'd be on yellow school buses. Anyways, it was just a joke, but we would literally just start like scream singing it, and it was just this thing. And so I already loved the Beatles, but the Yellow Submarine just literally has a special place in my heart because of that, and I'm already tearing up because I'm a super emotional person nowadays. So anyways, really want to do Yellow Submarine, and out of the other ones, I really want to do Strawberry Field. I want to do all of them, but there's Strawberry Fields, Eleanor Rigby, Blackbird, and oh, I can't remember the name of the last one. I can't remember the name of it, but I do want to do all 6 of them, and I want them all to be on 16 count Mirage. So that's why I'm doing that. But I picked Octopus Garden just because I just really, out of the other ones, I wanted to do some sea creatures, and yeah, so that's why I picked that one to be next. The next 2 would probably be Blackbird and probably Strawberry Fields. And then I would say save Eleanor Rigby. Oh, it's something about a long road. A long road. Those 2 would probably be last. So probably over the next 3 years, I'll work on those. So anyways, I put a picture of those there. The next one is the 6 Wives of Henry VIII, and I did print this out. I showed a picture of it in a haul. But I have no idea where the printouts are now. I keep on looking around because I feel like they're on Oh, I know where they are. They're on my sewing table. Damn it. All right. I'm not going to go get it. But I will insert a picture here of the 6 Wives of Henry VIII. All right, so that one I want to get Pictures Plus 16 Count Legacy for. I think that'll look really beautiful on Legacy. The next one is going to be Frosted Pumpkins Fruit of the Month. I haven't printed, I do own it. I have not printed it yet. Or have I? I don't think I have. I want to do the Fruit of the Month, and I'm going to go with Picture This Plus 18 Count on Serene. It's a really lovely light sherbet green color. But I will insert a picture of that here. Now what I want to do with this pattern is I want to make it 2 rows because I have these bits above my cabinets in my kitchen, and there's no way it's tall enough for the pattern the way that it's laid out. So I want to do it in 2 rows, but I think I kind of want to do it like zigzagged. Also, someone else changed it from saying the months to saying and I can't remember who. Hold on, because she messaged me the names because I wanted to know. Angela Beckman. She's doing it, the names of the fruit in Italian, and I just thought that was a brilliant idea, so I'm going to copy that, and I told her that, and she said that was fine, so she sent me the list of the 12 fruits and their Italian names, but I think that's a brilliant idea because at my parents' house back home, we have these 4 plates that are the seasons, and they're like mosaic plates from Italy, and it's the seasons, and they're in Italian, and they're gorgeous, and so I'm used to having something above the cabinets in Italian, and I just never thought of that. I wanted to put the names of the fruits. I'd already decided I didn't want to do the months, but I didn't think about converting it to Italian until I saw hers, and I was like, do you mind if I copy you? So anyways, that's the story of that. That's what I'm going to be doing. And so that's going to be started next year. Stop. Gizmo. The next one on my list is Spell Store. And I don't own this one yet. I can't remember who does it. I will put all the information, as always, will be in the information down below. I don't own it yet. It is off of Etsy. But it is called Spell Store. And I'm going to do it on Fabrics by LJ 18 Count Horizon. And I'm also on this fabric going to do the Fracture family because the fabric is big enough. If I cut it in half, whoop, right down the center, I can do both pieces on this fabric. So I think this half with the lighter coloring, let me just half it. This half is going to be for Spell Store, because it's like a bookcase with like a broom off to the side and like a hat and everything on the shelves and like books and potions. And then this side is going to be for Fracture family because I like the more dynamic colors for that, I think, to be in the mix. But that one is gorgeous as well. I will post photos of both of those right now. But that is what both of those look like. And so they're both going to go on this piece of Horizon, which I'm really excited for. This is one of my favorite Fabrics by LJ's that I've bought in a little while. The next one is Cross Stitch Nation. Y'all have all seen it, but I'll insert a picture right here. That one I want to do on 16 count Pictures Plus Chalice. I think it'll look really nice on Chalice. I think it's just a really nice piece of fabric. The next one is Home of a Needleworker 2. And I don't have that one either yet. So some of the ones that I don't own yet, I'm going to like buy 1 or 2 of them a month throughout the rest of this year. So that way not to have like a massive haul. So you'll end up seeing them. But I will put a picture of that right here. And that one is on one of the Valentine's Day fabrics that he did this last year. Where is it at? Where are you? Ah, yes, it is this one. All right, so this was whenever this last year for Valentine's Day, he did all 14 count Ada, and they just had the number 02, 14, 17, and then dot number 1, number 2, all the way up to, I forget how many he did. Did you do 42 pieces? I think he did. But this is the number 30, and this is going to look like crazy fabric for Home of a Needleworker, but let me just explain it. So this is 14 count, and this was the number 30 from the Valentine's Day sale. I got this because these are Bearcat colors. I am a Sam Houston Bearcat. And this would just be so cute on my front door. But I know that it's a primitive design, but I probably will change the colors to go better with this fabric. But I thought, how cute would it be? And like the house has a little heart up at the top, and I might change that to be a paw print. But I thought, how cute would it be to do Home of a Needleworker on Bearcat fabric, and I can hang it from my front door. I do have a storm door, so it's not like it'll be directly exposed to the elements of the world. So, but I was like, oh, how cute would that be if that was like my front door thing? So cute. Or like right inside the door. So that's going to be for Home of a Needleworker 2. And this is 14 count. The next one, and all 3 of the patterns are in the other room, but I bought the 3B patterns. I showed them in one of my previous videos. I will insert pictures of the 3 of them right here. They are so cute. I'm going to put them on a sampler. This fabric is going to just be long enough. But this is Picture This Plus in Huntress, and it is 14 count. And for that, I am going to buy almost all the specialty threads because they're going to look beautiful on this. But I thought this would be so beautiful and make those golds and browns just pop. So this is going to be for my bees sampler. I'm calling it a sampler because I'm taking 3 patterns and making it 1. The next one is Pumpkin Time. I will put a picture of that here because it's also in the other room. That one I'm going to be doing on another Fabrics by LJ from the February the 14th sale. And that is going to be done on... This was the number 36 from that day. So again, 14 count. And it's like these really cool like pastel pinks and grays and blues. And I just think Pumpkin Time, even though it's a primitive, will look really pretty on this. Kind of like spooky, misty. I think this will look really, really, really good for that pattern. So those are my proposed new starts for next year, and that's if I don't get involved in any more SALs next year. If I do, you know, that'll happen, but next year I'll still be working on my Haid, obviously, which I'll just give you a little gander of her. Here's how far I am as of right now on her. So pretty good progress on page 1. but I will be working on my Haid next year for sure. I'll still be working on the Mystery Band Sampler by Linens and Threads because there's no way that's getting finished this year. And other than that, you know, just working on, those are my only proposed starts. So, oh, that was supposed to go over there. So that is that. I did rework my schedule some. Oh, the other things though that I want to get from the picture, this plus July order, I want to get an 18 count Glory, a 16 count Barnwood, an 18 count Lupine, and I want to get an 18 count of their new color petals just to have in my stash for any new starts. Let's talk about the rework of my calendar. So I told y'all I kind of got over Mania real effing fast. So for May, I'm working on my Haid at the moment, and I'm just going to pick up whatever whip yells at me. And at the moment, if I switched from my Haid to something right this minute, I will show you what I would pick up. I would pick up my Frosted Pumpkin. All my threads are on it. I would pick up my Frosted Pumpkin Summer Beach Day and work on it because I don't know why, I'm just in the mood to work on something summery. So this is how far I got last year on this. So, and I am doing it on Coastal, but I switched it to 18 count. I'm not doing it on Crystal. And the reason I did that was because I needed to restart the autumn, which if you didn't see the video of that fiasco, so here's my original start to that, and I'm redoing it. It's on Ale, also 18 count, but they're coming out with the other two patterns. The winter one comes out this year, and spring comes out next year, but I figured out how big of a frame, if I did all four of them and frame them all in one frame, they needed to be on 18 count to be able to go into a standard size frame, and I picked 16 by 20 frame to be able to do that. So that's kind of what that's why I picked 18 count, so I didn't kit it. And also it was going to bother me if only one or two of the months were crystal and the other ones weren't. So I wanted them to all be the same. So next year that might also be some new starts, is the winter and the spring one. But those might be new starts for the next year though, to do the picture this plus, or yeah, to do the ordering in July. But that is one that at this moment, if I chose to work on something other than my Haid, that would be what I'm choosing. I am planning on restarting the autumn one this year. So this is a new start for this year. And all right, so I've reworked so much of my calendar because I wanted to take out a lot of new starts from my calendar. Basically, all of my new starts, I wanted to take them out. June focuses on my SALs, catching up my SALs and working on those, and my Haid. So for June, I have my 2017 Frosted Pumpkin SAL planned. We're supposed to be getting some bad weather here soon. It keeps on pretending. So this is where I'm at with my Frosted Pumpkin SAL. So I need to do May, and then I'll have to do June, and I really want to get the center finished. So this is going to be something that I focus on in June. Boop, boop. That's the girls. The other one that I'm going to work on in June is going to be my Linens and Threads, which this is where I'm at on Linens and Threads. So you can see I got a little bit down into April. I'm going to put the year right here. And I want to do something in June and July, but I'm not quite sure what yet. And then in October, I want to do my initials. So I'm seeing everybody else is customizing it, and oh my God, y'all are amazing. So Linens and Threads is on the June schedule as well. The other one on June's schedule, see, I told y'all this is going to kind of be like a whip update. The other one in June's schedule is Quotes to Live By. And I almost started May's quote because that's where I'm at, but I kind of want to rework it because it does bother me that it goes all the way to the double blue line and doesn't have this gap like this side does. So I want to rework that, but I want to see what comes out in June. If it's on the same side, so that way I can see what's going on with that and I can really like customize that. But if June's is over here in one of these two spots, then I might just ignore this until another one on this side comes up and concentrate on the top motif. I did finish picking all that stuff out, which I think I talked about in my most recent video. I did finish picking all of this stuff out. So I'm just going to do the word quotes, finish this banner, and do the stitching, the back stitching in that. So that's going to be, getting the top motif finish is going to be something that I, focus on in June. My Haid, and I do want to pick up a whip at the end of the month. And I have slated now, if I'm not really feeling it whenever it comes time, then I'll pick something else. But right now I have written down, it's in this one over here. I have Halloween Town written down to bring out. Because I have a couple days left on this, but I have this center pretty much finished. I have the bottom part of this down here finished. So I just have to really it's finishing up this house and doing the clue on this end, which is the little witch and the bakery. So, I mean, and clouds and stuff up at the top. But yeah, so I think this could actually get finished relatively soon. So I have to work on that for 3 days. I might work on it a few more days than that. But I really do want to finish this one because I got Christmas Town finished at the beginning of the year. So I really want Halloween Town to be finished as well. July. Oh, I didn't bring it over here. Dang it. I've kind of boxed myself in. Hold, please. All right. So in July, I really want to work on my pretty little DC. I have good amount done on it. But I have been trying to color finish, so I don't know if that's gonna be very productive. But I want to work on my pretty little DC for, 4th of July. So gonna be working on this some. And then my Frosted Pumpkin, my Quotes to Live By, my Haid. Then I have slated to work on Hillscape, which is just giant blocks of color. And some of these I may just take to work and also work on them as a lunch project. But this so far is Hillscape. I'll show you the pattern. So I still have a ways to go, but it is giant blocks of color. So that's another one that I was trying to color finish. So I want to work on Hillscape some in July just because it's a really fun little pattern. I also have my Mystery SAL for July. And then I have Halloween Cat, which I was supposed to work on some. I was supposed to work on this last month, and I didn't. So that I'm still at the same spot on this. But this is Satsuma Street's Halloween Cat. I do want to work on this and get some progress done on it. But so I do have Halloween Cat in the mix, and I also have none of this is like super well organized right now at the moment. So I'm like digging around everywhere for things. The other one is 12 Days of Christmas. This one I have a little bit left on the last 3 days. A little bit left from 9, 10, and 11. And then I have the whole border. So 12 Days of Christmas is pretty close to finish. Pretty close. Just, you know, that last push. August, I have Woodland Creatures written down. And this one I'm doing on 16 count Fathom. I started this for Mania before giving up on it, and I didn't get very far. Just a little bit on the skunk. This is one that I'm not putting the months' names in. So in August, I'm going to work a little bit more on my Woodland Sampler. Then I have written down I want to work on my sewing machine. And this is so cute. I love this one. This is the sewing machine by Satsuma Street. It's called A Stitch in Time. It was in the Cross Stitcher magazine. I don't remember when, but it was 2 years ago. I know that. And it hasn't gone to her Etsy shop yet, which is really weird to me. Because normally as soon as they're released from the magazine, which is only 6 months, they go in her shop. So this one hasn't made it there yet, but I'm sure it will. But I love this one. I adore it. So I want to work on that some. I think that'll be fun to work on. Another one that I've been itching to work on is my Ouija board. So like I said, some of these might become like lunchtime projects too. And that I can work on at work. So that way I can just get some finishes. But need to work on Ouija board some more. I'm almost to the corner over here, to the end of the board. And just have a little bit left to finish over here. And then the letters, and then I got to do the top half of the board. So, the top half. But I really do like this pattern. It's really simple. By Clouds Factory. I have national parks written in. I took out every new start for the rest of the year except for 3 things. One is the one that I already showed you, which is the autumn one, which I think I've written down for either September or October. I think it's October. And then 2 others that I haven't shown you yet. But I have national parks written down. This is as far as I got. I have about 1/4 of it done. And I moved it down to this corner. So, I don't know. I want to work on this one. It's so cute. Love it. That's also by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. The rest of the month is SALs in my Haid written down. For September, I have my giant Harry Potter, which I haven't worked on in a while, but most of the month is all about my giant Harry Potter because September is, you know, like Return to Hogwarts and all that. So, I'll just scroll through this really fast. This is by Clouds Factory. If you haven't seen it, you probably live underneath a rock. But, I still have a long ways to go. I love working on this, though. I love it, but I'll roll it back up. Y'all can see it. I do have a long way to go on this, but, you know, I love working on it so, so much. I have this for a lot of September, actually. For a lot of September. So I have this for like the first half of the month, basically. Then I have my autumn sampler, which I already showed you. I have not started it. Then I have my mystery SAL. And right now I have written down Mermaid Lagoon. And like I said, this is what I have written down. But if I get to a month and I want to work on one of these before something else, or if I start taking something to work on at lunch and I finish something, I'm just going to pick another one out of the pile. So some of this may change. I'm still going to make my monthly prediction videos. I'm just going through my whips, but I'm doing it as ones that I have planned to work on this year. And then we'll get into the ones that I just kind of don't want to work on anymore. Or possibly ever. Who knows? So this is my Mermaid Lagoon. I have a good amount done on her, but I still have a bunch of stuff to put above her and on this side of her. This side right here. Having a hard time with the camera today. So I have a good amount done. I have about a fourth done, I guess. You can see through that. I still have a long way to go, but I do have a good chunk of her done. Mystery SAL. We're Dead is a one that I want to start. And do I have that one printed out? I bought that one whenever it very first came out a long time ago. And I always print things out like right away. I don't, if it's not in this folder, then I don't know where it is. But I'm not seeing it. Maybe I haven't printed it out yet. I don't know. So anyways, I have that. I'll insert a picture here. We're Dead is by Satsuma Street, and I'm going to stitch that on a Fabrics by LJ. This is 14 count Ada in Wicked, and he hasn't made this one in a long time either, but this is the pink and green one. So for the We're Dead sign, I'm going to change the colors. It's a black, cream, and an orange, but I will change the colors to something else. I might do like black, orange, and purple or something, like other Halloween colors. But I thought this was kind of cool looking to do a small Halloween stitch on. Michelle agreed. She said something Halloween has to go on there, and I was like, I don't really have anything. So we chose We're Dead. The other is the Frosted Pumpkin SAL and Quotes to Live By. October, oh man, I'm really hoping to get this thing finished but I'm also at the same time, I don't want to work on it. But I have written down Postcards by Clouds Factory, which was last year's SAL, and I just got so tired of stitching countries for 2 SALs last year. I love them both, but I really did. I got tired of stitching countries, and I also got tired of the intricate borders. Just got tired of them. But I have to finish borders around some of the postcards. Actually, around some of finished postcards, also around the ones that I haven't done. And then I have 3 countries left to do. I have Vancouver, North Pole, and New York to finish. So I'm going to work on this in October. Hopefully get it done. Hopefully. So that way this will be finished I just got tired of working on it. I enjoyed the passport one more than postcards. So we'll see. Hopefully. I have to continue working on We're Dead, My Haid, Autumn Harvest, Pen Pals. Pen Pals is one that I always want to pull out and then I just never do. But I really do. I always want to work on it. But then I never do. Where are you at, Pen Pals? Found my Pen Pals, and I also forgot that I have Magical Creatures as a whip. So this is my Pen Pals as of right now. This is where I'm at. I have not worked on this in forever, but I really need to. I really like this guy. I always get like the threads out for like 1 or 2 stamps at a time and have them in the kit and do it that way. And then, so I found them, they were in my vintage sewing box thing, but that's where I was going to put I just kitted up for my 2018 stuff. And so I was going to put it in there, and I found these 2 in there. So I didn't know where they went. And this is all that I have on Magical Creatures. I also really love this one. And also I'm not going to put the months on this one either. But let's see, other than Haids and SALs in October, the other one that I want to work on is my Halloween sampler. I have about 1/4 of it done. So I want to work on this some. Try and get this one finished. It's so cute. This is on Pictures Plus Voodoo. It was kind of like, this was one of my very first, like, I'm going to do it on crazy fabric. So, I really like it. I really, 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 really like it. So yeah, Halloween sampler. November and December, I actually have like a lot of like free space. So it's just like as I get things finished, I'll like filter other things in. But right now I have written down my Haid, my Frosted Pumpkin, Pretty Little Italy is the other Pretty Little City that I have started. And I absolutely love it. I'm not as far as I want to be on it. So want to work on my Pretty Little Italy and get way more of this worked on. I also have You Are My Sunshine written down. I don't think that one's going to happen though. I've kind of gotten over that, so I'll show that with the ones that I'm kind of over working on at the moment. And that's all that I've written down for November as of right now. For December as of right now, my Frosted Pumpkin, because that's the last month of it. My Haid. What the hell is going on outside? There are people like screaming. Is the apocalypse already happening? Am I like late to the party? So that's what I have written down as of right now. So let's go through some of my other whips and things that I have just kitted. So other whips, and we'll talk about other whips, and then we'll talk about things that I just have kitted that I had intentions of starting this year, and it didn't happen. I'm throwing floss at myself. Let's not do that. Okay. One that I have started is the Great British Sampler by Stitch Rovia. That's as far as I got. So this is one that I want to get back out. So that may happen towards the end of the year or sooner. Like I said, I'm going to be taking things to like lunch and stuff like that. So some of this stuff may come out way sooner than intended. This is another whip that I haven't worked on in a long time. And it's the Hogwarts crest. I don't have much of it done. It's very stiff. I haven't worked on this in forever. Should probably get that back out at some point. Gingerbread Lane, which Michelle said that she would probably take from me and finish it for me because she actually enjoys stitching this. This is as far as I am. I don't get excitement over this. Maybe next year I'll get excited on this if Michelle doesn't take it from me before then. Maybe. We'll see. I'm not wanting to do the calendar at the bottom. I just want to do the little village, but I digress. Another one that I've gotten kind of tired of. I wish I knew where my pen pals was, because I actually really like that one. I don't know. Another one that whenever I have it out, I love working on it, but I never get it out unless I force myself to get it out. But is my Victoria sponge. I do really want this one finished one day. So maybe this will be one that I force myself to like take to work or something and work on. But like I said, whenever I get this one out, I love working on it, but it's making myself get it out. This is definitely one that I've given up on. I want to finish this. I wanted to make one of these for my entire family, and then I realized how much I hated stitching it. But I do, my dad's mom loves cheese, so I do at some point want to at least finish one of them. But this is the Jamais la Fromage pattern from Stitchrovia, and it's really cute. It's super adorable, but oh my god, I don't know. I want to at least finish one. I had like 5 copies printed out for different family members. Will be good if we get at least one finished at some point in life. I don't think any of these are whips. I think these are all kitted things. Yeah, that's just all kit stuff. Oh, the last one, the last new start for this year, maybe I should talk about that. Is the TARDIS words that I did the pattern on an Excel spreadsheet from a picture. I don't know if you can like see it, but I think there's only 2 colors in this, but it's huge. On 16 count, it's 8 inches by 17.4 inches. But I want to make this for my London room. And I'm going to use 16 count fabrics by LJ Blueberry. So I think it'll stand out really cool on there. So this is going to be my only other new start this year, if I can keep myself to that promise. But Blueberry. And it's going to go right here. I think that'll look really, really cool with all the words on it. I think that'll be so awesome. Speaking of, I can't wait to watch Doctor Who tonight and Class. If you aren't watching those, you should be. I just got to pick out the thread colors for this, but this is going to be my other start for this year, is my Doctor Who words, TARDIS words. The other, this is a very old whip. This is one of my very first ones that I ever started from Emma Congdon, and I want to finish this for my next door neighbors who are having a baby next month. So I've been taking this to work on it, and at the end of this month I was going to get out Summer, but I might actually work on this at work and at home just to finish it. I'm so close to being done, but obviously I have like fill-in left for these, and then I have the word 1 at the bottom left. So I don't have a whole lot. I also just don't have the desire to work on this one. So I just need to get myself motivated to do this one, because this one I need finished, like ASAP. One of my other whips that I have is my Stitchin' Mommy pattern, my temperature flowers. Oh, damn it. I just dropped threads all in my lap. Dang it. I hope I did not lose a needle. Okay, I don't think I did. But my Stitchin' Mommy pattern for my temperature garden, I am still keeping track of the temperatures, but I got really bored of all this stitching, of all this back stitching, because like I said previously, if I'm going to be working on back stitching right now, I want to be working on the charity SAL, but I also wanted to get several months, you know, because the flowers don't take long at all. Like the petals and like the center, they don't take long. It's the back stitching that takes a long time. So, I wanted to have more months. So, this might actually get picked up. This is really good. I take this with me to work. This is a good like lunchtime work on, because the flowers really do go that fast. In the last couple of months, everything has been greens and yellows because we've been in the 80s to the 90s. So it's really convenient. You don't need a lot of the colors in Texas most of the time. And then I also, and that was 18 count Rock Spring. And then I have another 18 count, and this is Creamsicle, that I want to do. I thought it would be fun to do a temperature garden for like important years of my life. Or not important. Well, I mean, they kind of are, because I couldn't get temperatures back to 1986 whenever I was born. So I did the temperatures of 2005, which was my last year living back home. So I'm going to do that on Creamsicle, and I have those written down, and I've already like doodled out like the date and putting the city name and stuff like that on there. Because I thought that would be really neat. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do like the first year of like marriage or anything crazy like that. But if I ever like move to like a different city or a different state or anything like that, I would love to redo this pattern for that first year. Just because I'm only 90 miles north of where I'm from, and the temperature difference is so different. But I mean, that's just like Texas for you. But so eventually I'm going to do the 2005 temperature garden as well. All right, so some abandoned ones. This is my You Are My Sunshine and When Skies Are Gray. That's where that pair of scissors went. I love this pattern. Whenever I'm working on it, I really do like it. I'm almost done, actually, with You Are My Sunshine. I say almost done. I don't have a whole lot left of You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine. But before I knew there was going to be a third one, I put these together, and I did a cute little down the center. But I'm going to have to take them apart so that way so they can all be individual. And that's one reason why I've just kind of not been working on this one, because I'm really sad about that. But I don't have a whole lot finished on You Make Me Happy When Skies Are Gray. And then I still have the third part to do, but I've been discouraged from working on it. I really have. Which is really sad, because I really do like these patterns. So, I really do want to make myself do this and finish that. I just don't know when. Another one that I've kind of abandoned, and I think part of it is the colors that I picked, and part of it is also this fabric. This is another Stitchrovia. This is Key to My Heart, or Locked on Love. I think I got the pattern originally from the magazine cross stitcher, and it was called Locked on Love, and it's now on her Etsy as Key to My Heart. So cute. I don't have a whole lot left. I mean, up here, I mean, I have a decent amount, but it goes really fast. And then I have this light pink to fill it in. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm not having fun with it anymore. I did all of that work, though, in about 3 days. And I got just really very quickly burnt out on it. Which is, I hate whenever, honestly hate whenever that happens. Let's see. I don't think I have anything in the works. Was that 30 projects? Because if it was. So let's see. I'll just show you some things that I have kitted. That will probably, some of them, I bought them whenever I really, 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 really liked the pattern, and I'm just not as feeling it anymore, but who knows? Maybe one day. We'll see. But I do have these kitted with some of them with fabric and threads that I picked out. But this is Smile with the World by Stitch Rovia. This is the Clouds Factory Doctor Who sampler, and I dyed this fabric for it. It's like a light blue color, and then I have some Weeks Dye Works threads, which I definitely need more skeins for that, but someday. This is just the printout in a bag, but this is the Live Simply by Stitch Rovia. The Welcome Home by Stitch Rovia. Whenever I first got back into cross stitching, I found Stitch Rovia, and I bought like every gazillion million patterns that I could find. This is from Cross Stitch Collection, February 2015. This is Vintage Sewing. Really, really, really cute pattern. I don't have it kitted, but I do have it printed and in a bag. That one is really cute. I do eventually want to do this one. This one is by Emma Congdon, and this is the one that's called Laundry, and only part of the pattern's on here, but it's really adorable. I thought this would be kind of cool to put in my laundry room is in my garage, but I can put it next to the wall. Thought that would be kind of cute. I have the Rio 2016 pattern that I want to do because I'm a huge Olympics fan. I have the Mermaid at the Beach by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery printed out and in a bag. I have the Let's Be Proud by Ursula Michael. And all these are just printed out. Like, I don't have fabric with them. The Will You Be My Neighbor by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I have that. I have the Gryffindor Crest, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw patterns. Oh, here it is. Sorry We're Dead. Here it is. Look how cute this is. Sorry We're Dead. This is going to be that Wicked fabric. This one. I have a really cool Sailor Moon pattern that I printed out. I don't want to redo the one that I did for the craft swap, even though I really like that pattern. I charted that myself. I really like this one. So if I'm going to do a Serena and Luna pattern, it's going to be this one. I have the pattern printed out for the Little Sparkler Party by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I have Beside the Sea by Emma Congdon, and I don't know if you can see this tiny little pattern, but it's so cute. It's in black and white. Sorry about that. I also have Seaside Love by Emma Congdon. And I can show this one. This was a freebie from Sue Hills Designs. This is just really cute. I just really like it. It looks like it would be really quick to stitch up. Ah, really adorable. And it says, may your spools always be full and your needles always be sharp. And it has, in the spools are little quilt patterns. So, my two favorite things. If I ever finish Victoria's Sponge, I'm going to do the pancake recipe. somebody was also really awesome and sent me the magazine that the pudding was in, and I was going to do that this year, but I need to get some of these whips out. I have Heart of the Home, which this was in a magazine, and then she put it on her Etsy, and I had to have it. It's so cute. I'd like to make that one for my kitchen as well. I have the Santa is Coming to Town by Stitchrovia. And I finished this last year for a Christmas gift, but I am eventually going to make it for myself. This is the Sing Me a Sampler by Silver Creek Samplers. And I have the other half of that fabric in Ren. And then I wrote down all the colors that I used for Jackie's, because I'm going to use mostly the same colors, but I might change mine up a little bit. But that I'm eventually going to redo that one. I have the pants and bra not happening quote. It says, if it requires pants and or a bra, it's not happening today. And I'm just going to do it in some kind of variegated. I don't know. I haven't fully decided. I kind of want to do it on, like, with black or something and do it on one of my tie-dyed pieces of fabric. But I digress because I haven't gotten there yet. This is the Love You So Much pattern by Stitchrovia. I have fabric and threads picked out for it, but never started it. This is the Turkey pattern by Frosted Pumpkin. This I may actually do this year. It's really small. It's the one that says Give Thanks and it has a little turkey on it. I have the large London pattern by Stitchrovia, and this is what it looks like. And I bought a giant piece of fabric for that. This is Picture This Plus Mellow. I bought that in last year's sale, so that way I could start that at some point in life. I have Trick or Treat by Frosted Pumpkin. It's already kitted. I have the Da Vinci fabric for that. I have Merry and Bright kitted because I was gonna start Trick or Treat, Large London, and Merry and Bright during Stitch Mania, and it didn't happen. So they're all kitted. Don't know when they're gonna get started. Something that I do want to start, I might do this in September during the 10th anniversary of my mom's passing. But I kind of want to just do the middle panda as an in memory of my mom that Adele sent me and use her Fabrics by LJ Opal Lugana 28 count cherub piece for that and give that a go that she sent me and do the one panda. Eventually I want to do all three of them, but I don't know. I think I want to do that one little guy during that week. I also have Aladdin by Donna Stitch and Brave by Donna Stitch kitted up. What else? Oh. I used an app to make a Harry Potter book spine. It's a full coverage, so we'll see how the Haid goes. And then I also made my own little one that has pictures of me with my pets on it. Potter is included. Haley's included. Tex, who we had to put down last year. My dog that lived to be 22 that we put down the year before my mom passed away. Gizmo's on it. And Scout is on it, who I had to put down in 2015. So, that's not all of my pets. I've had so many pets, but that's a good chunk of them. They're all on it, so maybe one day. I think that's everything that I have kitted. So that's kind of like a loose look at what I have. Oh, I do have this. This is something that I wanted to start this year at some point also, so this might be a take it to lunch thing as well. But this is that first piece of linen that I ever bought, and I got... it's Jobelin, maybe? Yeah. 32 count Jobelin. It's in white, so I need to dye this because I want it to look kind of like old looking, so I'll like tea dye it. But this is the Needle and Thread Embroidery Guild, established in 1779. And I bought the specialty threads needed, but I changed 2 of the colors from, what's that company called? Crescent Colors. I know that's not their name anymore, but yeah. So I got the colors for that. That was in my haul from 123 Stitch and ABC Stitch Therapy. So this is something that I want to start. I also have the fabric for my mirror that I bought, the Madonna mirror. So, I mean, things are subject to change. But those are all of my whips. Oh, I forgot about this one. I also kitted up the All Around Texas pattern, which is that Redbirds design that I showed y'all. And I have it. Oh, that wasn't Wren. That was in my Silver Creek sampler. That was Tyco. I have a piece of Wren that I put aside for the All Around Texas. So that's the other thing that I have kitted. And I think, guys, that is it. This is one of my longest videos ever. Yeah, so I have about 5 or 6 that I've kind of like given up on wanting to work on, and then several that I want to work on, but I just like, I never have the time, or whenever it comes to it, I just don't want to at the time. But like I said, I'm going to start taking stuff to work again because I do actually work on stuff on my lunch break and at work. And I fully enjoy that. So, I'm hoping to knock some of these out during lunch breaks. And since I took out so many of the new starts from this year, because I had I had at least one every month for the rest of the year. Plus, I was going to do like 7 during Mania. So, I'm glad that I took that shit down. But yeah. One more kitted. Jesus. All right, it's not really super kitted, but I have it printed and I have the fabric picked out. This is Voyage by Satsuma Street, and I have picked out Crystal Mystic right here. But, so yeah. Anyways, that's kind of like my 2018 new start plans. And I say 2018 because I'm going to, at least the picture of this plus ones, you know, I didn't get my order in until the end of November, beginning of December, somewhere around there. So the ones that I want to do on Pictures Plus, I won't even have the fabric in time to start them by this year. The ones that are on Fabrics by LJ Fabric, I mean, here's the deal. If I get my whip load lowered dramatically in the next few months, by taking stuff to lunch and just being productive and whatnot, some of them may get started before 2018. That's why I'm saying everything is always subject to change. I'm not putting myself in the box anymore. I just realized, like, you know, some months I really need that structure, so I am still going to write stuff down in my planner of what I want to work on that month, and I will still do a proposed month video, but if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to force myself to do it. I will rifle through other whips and find something else. My goal is just not to do any other new starts until some of this whip pile goes down. So that's why I left the 3 new starts in there that I really wanted to do, that I really wanted to start this year because I've been really wanting to start those. That's why I left those in, but yeah, I'm just going to try and knock some of these out, you know, throughout the weeks and the months coming up, and taking stuff to lunch and things like that, and just working on stuff whenever I have free time, just like always. But I do like having the structure in my planner of this is what I want to be working, or this is what I'm proposing to myself to work on to try and get it finished and accomplished. But I'm no longer going to feel bad if I change my plans. I'm no longer going to feel bad if I want to take a night off from stitching. Random nights, you know, or if my hand is hurting or if I'm just too tired, I'm not going to feel bad about not getting progress. You know, I'm just going to take it as it comes. But I do want to finish some stuff. And for me, they don't have to be FFOs. I just want them out of these damn Ziploc bags, threads put back away in my boxes, and, you know, ready to start something new whenever I get the hankering for that. So that's where I'm at with it all. You know, I love making these videos, but part of the guilt that I felt for like changing my plans and stuff like that was because I love making the videos, but it was hard for me to like sometimes make a video and be like, I barely did anything. See the 5 stitches that I did in 5 days. And you know what? I don't care. Even if I've barely done any progress, y'all still want to know about why didn't I get any progress? What's going on in my life? What do I think I'm going to start working on next? I don't have to feel guilty. And I know that. And I've known that for a very long time. But this year, it's really like meant something that I knew that. Anyways, y'all know what I'm saying. But thank y'all so much for sticking around this long. If you have stuck around this long to see where my whips and my kits are, like I said, some of the stuff that I have kitted, I may never do. Some of the patterns that I bought 4 years ago whenever I was getting back into cross stitch, I may never ever stitch. And that's not even all the patterns that I have in my arsenal. And I have so many printed and just like waiting. I bought them because I liked them back then, but I didn't start them early enough, or like I didn't start them soon enough. And my style has somewhat changed. I still like the patterns, but I don't like them as much as I did. And so some of them may never get done, and they may just sit there in my store, like my PDF storage, and like print it out in a Ziploc. I don't know. We will see. We will see. Some of them I may unkit, take the fabric out, and take the threads out and put them away. That I know for a fact I'm not going to stitch in a very long time, or if ever. I'll leave them in the Ziplocs, but I'd rather have stuff that I know that I want to work on kitted. But I'm really excited. Next year we'll have a lot more primitive patterns. I've always loved primitive patterns, but it's taken me a long time, and like getting to know more people through FlossTube and stuff to be exposed to some of these other designers. And it helps that February was my first time ever to a proper LNS, and I saw all these things and like my wish list grew. So next year I'm going to be able to incorporate a lot of those primitives that I've been wanting to work on for forever. So we'll see how it goes. As you know, anytime anything changes, I always tell you about it. And I look forward to the rest of this year. You will get more of a May update later. But yeah, anytime I buy anything, anytime I stitch anything, you're always going to find out. So I will see y'all next time. Thanks for sticking around for this very long video. And happy stitching, guys. Love you. Bye.